welcome back to more Let's Play Plants vs. Zombies. Last time, we started on the nighttime levels, showing off just how powerful mushrooms can be. We also obtained the Almanac, which lets us read about our plants and zombies. Fairly straightforward. So, let's continue, shall we? And look, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little tired of hearing that. So I think from here on out, if we do start, I'll probably just meet you at the beginning of a level, but we'll see. I don't know. It's kind of charming. Still, last time we also gained the Hypno Shroom, which makes a zombie fight for us. As you can notice, the football zombie. Interestingly, now that we have the Almanac, we can actually click and read about any of the zombies we've seen, though we've not actually fought him yet. So, no freebies on what they do. It's a clever way of doing it. Still, let's bring all of our good little mushroom pals. I'm gonna say go like that. Should be useful. Ready, set, plant. Absolutely. Now, one bad habit I kind of have with these nighttime levels is I always end up putting all the little shrooms up here on this first row. So, maybe don't do that like I do. It's just a bad habit. Let's hope I guessed. Ooh, I did guess right. It's goodness. Me and my big ol' misclick, I tell you. And let's see here. Plant more puff shrooms and sun shrooms. It's kind of just the tried and true method. Get all of our rows nice and defended. Keep more sun shrooms going. And I mean, realistically, as you've kind of seen, Plants vs. Zombies is a fairly laid-back and relaxed game. You can kind of just play a level at a time and really enjoy yourself. It's not mindless, but it plays like it's mindless fun. And I think for a lot of people, that makes it incredibly accessible. You don't have to be some crazy skilled gamer or someone with thousands of hours to play as effectively as me. It's very low skill floor and very low skill ceiling, which I think a lot of people can appreciate. Getting more of our sun shrooms here. Fortunately, this cone head is a bit of a problem. As you see, our puff shrooms really do struggle with dealing with them. But with a humble sacrifice, we should be able to deal with them no problem. I think I want to start getting some fume shrooms here. So let's go for it. Let's get a grave buster going. Ooh, my. Footballers. These guys are pretty much the super bucket heads. They deal, well, not deal damage. They run faster, eat fairly quickly, and have a lot of defense. They're obnoxious, to say the least. So if I were you, use a Hypno Shroom on them ASAP. Though, you might not always have one available. In which case, you're in for a world of hurt. A walnut in that instance can save you a whole lot of headache. So I'd recommend using whichever you got on hand at the time. Again, it's gonna vary because of cooldowns, so don't worry too much, but deal with it, is more or less what I'm trying to tell you in a very roundabout method. Alright. May have actually misplayed. I probably should have put him one down, but, well, we'll see how it turns out. Worst case, if we lose one puff shroom, that's not a huge deal. A huge wave approaching. Let's brave buster this before they get here. Perfect. Now, one interesting thing is that if there's a zombie behind the Hypno Shroom zombie, they'll start eating them as if they were a plant, which is kind of hilarious. It's also very useful, especially if you get a big footballer. But hey, pretty simple. And here we have our next lovely plant. The Scaredy Shroom. A long-range shooter that hides when enemies get near it. These things are interesting, and I find I rarely use them. They can be good, don't get me wrong, but they can also really screw you over. Because as it said, they hide when enemies get near. They are, however, long range and fairly inexpensive, which is good. So it is still worth considering using them. It's just their weakness is fairly glaring. But, as is with every plant, I will do my best to show it off. Here, alright. Come on now, there we go. I tell you, this early game can be, I was going to say nauseating or exhausting, but really it's just kind of humdrum. You're not doing a whole lot. Kind of waiting for cooldowns and sun. I find it's much more interesting the further you get into a level. Still, nothing wrong with building a solid foundation. There we go. And let's see. More. Come on now. Goodness. Sometimes the placing is a little finicky. Usually it's fairly lenient, but I've had it a few times before where you think you placed it, and it just doesn't wanna. Now let's throw a Scaredy Shroom back here and try to show off what it does. So as you can see, it has the normal range of a pea shooter, but its major downside is that if a zombie is within, I think, 3 tiles of its range, 3 or 2, I'm not sure which, it's been a moment, then they shrink into the ground and do not attack. So right here. Ooh, I'm surprised. I want to say it's within 2. So if the zombie was, say, I want to say within here, it'll shrink down, or it might be within an immediate tile. Point is, they're good. It's just you can't use them as frontliners. It really doesn't work that way. The other thing that's also an issue is that they don't just get scared when things are in front of them. They get scared when things are below them as well. So because of that, you gotta be fairly cautious. In fact, we might see one of them retract here. Because if something breaks through and gets real close to a Scaredy Shroom, it'll shrink in and do nothing. Let's try to show it off, shall we? Right here. See? Because this zombie was so close, he got scared and shrank down. And, seeing as he's our guinea pig, I'll probably just leave him there. But like what's about to happen here, with the range, it looks like it is about 2, give or take. So, you still have a fair bit of leeway with them, just maybe not as much as you want. Still, if you're placing your Scaredy Shrooms way up front, you must be in dire straits. But if you think of them more like your long-range sniper, put them in the back and they'll be fine, you'll get by swimming. It's just remembering that can be a pain sometimes. Still, it's not all that bad. I find I kinda don't use them much. They're alright, but they're never really needed. I find the puff shroom and fume shroom that usually can get you by just fine. Still, for their price, you really can't go wrong. It's just maybe use more than just the scary shroom. Goodness, I'm slacking on planting my sun shrooms. I've been so preoccupied over here, I've not been looking up here. But hey, it's alright. Not like we're really missing out on too much. Sun is not a huge issue. So yeah, see, zombie got up close to him, it became an issue. So I want to say it's actually about within a tile of them, give or take. But hey, they're useful for what they are. Put them in the back row, they'll be fine. Otherwise, let's see. Grab a sun shroom, get a grave buster going. I get another grave buster in, that might get eaten, we'll see. It won't stop the zombie from spawning, which is a bit of a problem. It should be fine. So yeah, see? Because this zombie, this footballer, got up close, he got scared and isn't doing anything. But we still should be just fine. One Hypno Shroom solves the footballer, and beats the level, gaining us a fancy new shroom. Why wouldn't you know it? It's the Ice Shroom. It temporarily immobilizes all zombies on the screen. This is a very useful mushroom and can be used in a ton of situations. Especially for this guy right here, the dancing zombie. He's a problem, but we'll get to him. So let's see. I'm gonna bring those guys, and you know what? I don't see any screen doors, so let's bring Scaredy Shrooms. And this stuff should be good. Yeah, the Grave Busters during nighttime levels are pretty much just always bring them. They'll be useful. Now let's see here. I'm gonna guess we'll get some bottom lane zombies first. Let's see, was I correct? No, I was not. I was, in fact, very opposite of correct. Not the worst thing in the world. We can pivot and make it work. Give him a little friend there, help him deal with the zombie. He'll get a little damage, but he should be fine. There we go. And let's see, I guess I should probably get a mushroom on that lane, just for safety. And then I think I want to start planting Scaredy Shrooms once I have 2 full columns of Sun Shrooms. I feel that'll be worth our time. The other nice thing is that most of the mushrooms are fairly inexpensive because of how limited sun is on these levels. So usually, you can get away with a lot more than you could on a daytime level. Alright, perfect. Really want to get a Grave Buster on that. So let's... Oh no, let's be responsible. There we go. Now we'll Grave Buster it. Honestly, keep our Sun Shrooms going. Ooh, here we go. The Disco Zombie. As you can see, he spawns a whole slew of other zombies with him. He's annoying, to say the least. And if you don't take him out, he'll keep spawning zombies. He's annoying. Dealable, but annoying. Just because of that, you gotta be careful. They're honestly a fairly good counter to Scaredy Shrooms because of how much area they cover by themselves. They deal with a lot of plants fairly quickly, so you gotta be careful of them. They're not unbeatable, per se, and there's a lot of ways to get rid of them, such as use a walnut in front of him when he first shows up, because then he can't move. The zombie he spawns only move with him, so if you keep that in mind, not that bad. But one of the more interesting ways of dealing with him is using the Hypno Shroom, because it'll have him spawn hypnotized zombies for you. And I've been a little coy about addressing it. There are achievements in this game because it's the PC port. Should you hit one of these disco zombies, or dance zombies, with a Hypno Shroom, you'll get an achievement. So, if you get unlucky and miss like that, then, well, if you really want the achievement, you can get rid of all the zombies on a lane like that, or all the plants. Place a walnut. And then, basically, ooh, very rare gem drop. Sometimes, instead of coins, you'll get a gem, which is worth 1,000. As you can see, won't move. Give him one of those, and then he'll start marching on his own guys. It's kinda hilarious. And as you can see, spawns the enemy zombies for us. It's pretty useful. I really wanted to show that, and figured, why not? Speaking of why not, a rather fierce-looking mushroom. This is the Doom Shroom. No, it doesn't run Doom, but it does destroy a large area, leaving a crater in its wake. That crater can't be planted on, so keep that in mind, but it's pretty much a screen nuke. So, they can be very useful. And while it's maybe not a full screen nuke, it's a huge area, so keep it in mind. Otherwise, let's see, with this stage, I really feel like I don't care about the Ice Shroom as much as I probably should. I want to show off the Doom Shroom, and we need Grave Busters. So goodbye Hypno Shroom and Ice Shroom. Do our stock standard setup here. And what's really a problem is these graves. Those are going to be a pain to deal with. Should be fine, but still not fun. Wait 2 seconds. Alright, there we go. Sometimes waiting a little bit can really help, though if you're rushing as quick as you can, it might be worth your time to just plant things now, ask questions later. So I noticed we have 2 huge waves on this one, so we gotta be a little careful here. Also, a very good guess. Go. Puff Shroom right there. He's probably gonna get eaten or at least very damaged, but that should be okay. Perfect. I almost want to place a Scaredy Shroom on this row, like, right now. It should be fine. In fact, what I'm gonna do... Whoops. Did not mean to do that, my goodness. I don't know what I was thinking. It was probably the fact I wanted a Sun Shroom and just didn't have it. There we go. I feel like getting early Scaredy Shrooms is probably a good way to go about it. Especially when you got cone heads knocking at your door. Let's get rid of this. Puff Shroom there. Buy us a little bit of time. This is a problem. fact, let's put our first fume shroom down, just because we know screen doors are coming. This is where I'm going to put another puff shroom to slow him down. That's why I like him. Alright, there we go. We at least have long range on each row, which is good. Put Grave Buster here, get rid of it. Perfect. And then, let's see, I want a fume shroom down here, deal with that cone head. Feeling pretty good right now. Grave Buster there. Because I would like to have much more space to work with. Perfect. Okay. Bit of another grave. I'm waiting to place another fume shroom because I have a feeling a door zombie is going to be here. Yep. Let's do something a little risky. Let's put a Grave Buster here. Let's put a Doom Shroom. My apologies if that hurt your ears, but as you can see, it was darn effective. It also left that crater. So while we can't place mushrooms there, or really plants, I believe graves also can't spawn. So it's fairly useful all around. And as you can see, for the sun, it's darn useful. Now, I want to say eventually the graves will patch themselves up, but the big caveat is you gotta watch what you're doing, because too many holes means less spaces to place plants. You gotta be a little careful there. Trying to grab my Grave Buster and click in the Doom Shroom instead. Simple mistake, really, but you get it. Because while I'd love a walnut right here, I just don't have the room because I used that Doom Shroom. So while they are nice, they have their downsides for sure. Overall, I like them, especially in a pinch. Let's try to get some more fume shrooms here. That last grave if we can. And I figure too, getting rid of the puff shrooms that are where the fume shrooms are going, with a screen door especially, isn't a big deal, because they can't hurt them anyways. Perfect. As you can see, that crater is slowly repairing itself over time, but it does take a fair bit of time. But with our huge wave of zombies, we don't have to worry too much. Because we'll simply place our Doom Shroom and deal with most threats right away. Easy peasy. And wouldn't you know it, our next note. Hello, we would like to visit for a midnight snack. How does ice cream and brains sound? Sincerely, the zombies. Well, ice cream sounds nice, but the brains part, I'm gonna pass. And so, welcome to our next interesting bit. It's another conveyor stage, just like the one before it. You're coming. Let's see, let's put our puff shroom about there. Leave our hypno shrooms for later. And ideally, we'll start working on busting these graves as quick as we can. These levels are where luck of the draw really starts to play. If you get unlucky, there's kind of just nothing you can do. You can win or lose these levels based entirely on the game just not giving you anything you need. It can be rough. So, most of these early ones aren't that hard, and they're built with that in mind, that hey, you could get really unlucky, and it's not phenomenal. And while I would have liked to save my ice shroom, I really don't have time, given what's in front of me. Well, I don't care about the puff shrooms, I care about my fume shroom. Scaredy shroom, put you in the back row. There. Again, plenty of utility. No real great damaging ones. I could use a hypno shroom, but it was a little wasteful. And while I do like my symmetry, levels like this are real hard to keep it on. Come on. Okay, Toon Shroom. Yup. This is where we're starting to get screwed. Alrighty. I guess we'll use a Hypno Shroom. It's also kind of fun seeing these guys. You don't really usually get to look at them for very long before they get used. Brave Buster. Really need some defensive plants for that top row. I probably should have put this Fume Shroom up there, but ask me will receive. Thank you, game. Back, let's use an Ice Shroom here. Slow some of those guys. Scaredy Shroom in back. Should be fine. Ooh, perfect. Okay, we're getting all that support we need. Bone Zombie actually did some good work for us. And as you can see, too, the Ice Shroom, not only does it freeze them for a bit, it slows them, too. That's a very underrated part, because that slow is useful. To be honest, I'm going to just start placing Hypno Shrooms. They're the least interesting mushroom here. They're good, like if we had a footballer or something, but I just ain't seen them. So if we can get a screen door zombie, that'd be good. Perfect. Busting a grave. Come on, baby. Perfect. Hearing the crunching sound kind of scared me because I was like, oh gosh, what plant's getting eaten? No, no. There's a zombie. Ooh, another jewel. That is incredibly rare. Perfect. Kind of just saving my Doom Shrooms. Hello, Mr. Footballer. We have a tasty mushroom here for you. Perfect. Perfect. I like it. Sure, let's do that. Love another Grave Buster. Ice Shroom, huh? Okay. Let's clear some of our inventory here with the Doom Shroom. Now, as you notice, the Doom Shroom, it can be bitten and eaten, but it won't ever be, I say eaten, it won't ever fully be consumed. So, although zombies can bite it and, you know, look like they can eat it, they never can. I believe the same is true with things like cherry bombs and other ones that we will see later on. So, don't worry about placing it. I think if there are enough zombies, I think they can actually eat it because they do still have HP. But most of the time, things like this just act so quickly that it's never a problem. It's very rare that you would put something down and a zombie could ever deal with it before it did its immediate effect. I think I've seen it like once on a very, very late game stage, where I think I placed down a cherry bomb and they ate it because there were just so many zombies there. Let's put a... Yeah, feels good. Alright, I think we've got a pretty solid defense going here. Not to mention some very solid music. Should keep both these rows safe. Plenty of Doom Shrooms. Actually, honestly, I'm kind of inclined to just start using... I mean, this looks like a fairly good wave for it, right? again, our mushrooms are kind of dealing with it. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I got rid of that fume shroom just for straight up symmetry. Alright, let's just use a doom shroom. So yeah, as you can see, that range is massive. It's crazy how good they are. Alright, I guess at this point, let's just get a full row of snipers. Why not? Still keeping our symmetry. Man, oh, listen to that music, though. Plants vs. Zombies has some very, very good music. And you've probably noticed, at least when I shut my mouth. Sure, buddy. Be a frontliner. You know, zombies, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Shroom, shroom. Now, as you can see, if it's placed on any row other than the middle, it will miss. Still, just place your next doom shroom. It's fairly simple. And here... Interesting. We've got ourselves the lily pad. It lets you plant non-aquatic plants on top of it. Right. This will be something we see next time we play Plants vs. Zombies. As always, I'm Bread. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.